Hey folks, Twisted Christian here. Today I want to discuss Dr. Maria Conwell's new prophetic word concerning the cryptocurrency markets. And one of the things that I'm beginning to realize is that when I start looking at all these different prophetic words about flash crashes and Bitcoin going to zero, we might very well see actually this happening several times. But I'll get into that a little bit later. First, folks, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just bringing and sharing information and giving you my thoughts and my opinion on that information. And if you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description, and also the About section of YouTube, the Patreon, PayPal, and so on. All right, folks, so one of the things that I'm beginning to realize, I keep seeing all these different prophetic words. Most recently, we had Robin, who prophesied a flash crash on Coinbase. Also, he saw a flash crash that went to zero, and then he also saw a flash crash on two platforms when Bitcoin hits 70,000. And then also Christopher, when he saw Bitcoin at 111,000, it went down to zero. And then we have Q, who also is talking about the YouTube channel Love is God, where he sees a flash crash. And then God Guy has been talking about flash crashes too as well. So I'm seeing from other people just about their dreams or visions about Bitcoin crashing down to zero. At first I was thinking like, hey, maybe this is only going to happen like one major time. But now I'm getting to realize that I think that we're going to be planning for more than one fishing trip. Right? So I think that before we get to that 111,000 milestone, right? Who knows how many flash crashes there's going to be before it gets to that point. So that's one of the reasons why we do prepare, and that's why we are setting our buy limit orders. I have this document which will be down below in the description that talks about the two specific platforms that Chris talks about, but also it's going to happen on other platforms and how to set your orders and all that. Right? So that link will be down below in the description. So most recently in Dr. Maria Conwell's October 18th, talking about Shiba Inu, tell my people it will reach $1 and then $13, right? And I believe that we are right now on the verge here very close for that run to begin. And she also talked about the two tidal waves, right? And I also said that before a tidal wave comes in, what happens first, right? There's always a pullback. All the water that's on the beachfront, pulls back out into the ocean. And we're also expecting an issue with Canada and their power, some of the Bitcoin mining facilities that are out there, right? Because ever since China shut a lot of it down, Canada has grown as far as Bitcoin mining. So if you're brand new to the channel, you may not necessarily understand everything that I'm explaining. A lot of this is in videos that I've made over and over and over again. And you just need to sit back and watch some of those videos, right? But I'm really thinking, folks, that we're going to have multiple opportunities fishing for Bitcoin. I do believe that there will be that one time when Bitcoin does go down and people will call Bitcoin crap, right? A lot of people will be upset because it'll crash down to zero, but it won't have that recovery as in a flash crash. Could you imagine that if you start fishing for Bitcoin now and it flash crashes and you're able to pick up some, and then you have this major crash after it hits 111,000. Imagine, selling off right before that point. So who knows how all this is going to happen. This is all speculation based off of my opinion and putting all the information together. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the dream. Right, this was posted on February 23rd. In my dream, I saw what seemed to be a tsunami wave. I just received this dream overnight in interpretation this morning and believe time is of the essence in releasing it. I have been praying about the Red Sea moment in the crypto market, and this is what the Lord showed me. In my dream, I saw what seemed to me a tsunami wave. When I looked at it, it was 3 stories high and blood red in color. This wave was only a line, though, and it looked more like what liquid blood would look like if it fell straight down from a faucet positioned 3 stories up. Also, this image was positioned in my dream just across the street from me, and I ran from house to house warning my friends and family to get out before the wave hit. Okay, and the interpretation to that is the red tsunami wave represents a drop of Bitcoin. It looked to be a straight drop out from about 3 stories up, which might represent a drop from 30,000K to a bottom of almost zero. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a deep look at this. So what she believes the interpretation is that Bitcoin, which is going to be around the 30,000 area, and then it's going to drop to almost to a bottom of zero. Okay, you see where the price of Bitcoin now, it's around 39,000, so it's recovered since the invasion of Ukraine. So, but we are still expecting a power outage or something that's going to cause a flash crash with Bitcoin. Okay, and the next thing she said that this wave was only a line and looked more like what liquid blood would look like if it fell straight down from a faucet positioned 3 stories up. So looking at it as far as from a faucet perspective, you can see here I have this faucet here and it's running down. So you could just imagine if that was coming down from, 3 stories high. That particular red tsunami, which isn't really a wave, but it appeared to be a wave. So this particular representation, it was a line that was like liquid blood as it fell straight from a faucet positioned 3 stories up. And so we're going to be looking for another drop in Bitcoin from 30,000 to a bottom of almost zero. So that's why I say, folks, get yourself into position so that you can get the chance to fish for Bitcoin. And she goes on to say here, the prices to purchase BTC at the lows will depend on the exchange that you use. I asked the Lord about it, and he said some exchanges will fail and not be able to process orders. In other words, they will be jammed with sell and buy orders, and you won't be able to buy at the exact bottom. For example, I was told in the past to buy BTC at 1,000 on Kraken. So this is one of those exchanges that might fail, short circuit, jam to prevent buys, prices below $1,000. There are other exchanges, though, you will be able to pick up BTC for 10 cents, and everyone should pray about their sell and buy orders as well as which exchanges to use. Now, Christopher gave us 2 specific ones, and that was Bittrex and Kucoin. All right, and I said that the Bitcoin buy limit order document for Bitcoin fishing is down below in the description, and that's it right there. So we have the 2 platforms. Prophet Robin talked about it flash crashing on Coinbase. So, but we don't know what those other ones are. There are other platforms like Gate where you can put in buy limit orders from a penny on up. And so there's a lot of other exchanges that are out there, especially you have some exchanges that are very popular in a particular country, but you may not even heard of them. And I think even Prophet Robin talked about flash crashes on Binance too as well. So that would be another place, but I mean, there's a lot of negative prophetic prophecies concerning Binance. So if you do use Binance, if you plan on putting any money on there, make sure that you're experienced, okay? Because the moment it flash crashes and you're able to catch some Bitcoin on Binance, you need to be able to transfer it out, whether you send it to a hard ledger or send it to another exchange. So here on Kraken, she was told to put at 1,000 because of the possibility of the fail, short circuit, or jam to prevent buys below 1,000. All right, and then we have the timing, right? So she does a section on the timing. I believe my dream provided some insights into the timing of the flash crash. I was positioned across the street looking at a bloody red drop at 111th Street, LBI, New Jersey. So the wave was directly across the street from me on the opposite side of Main Boulevard and LBI on 100th Street, also known as California Avenue. It was about 35 steps from where I was, so I asked the Lord about that and received the understanding that the steps represent days. If so, it would likely occur in late March or early April. This is my interpretation of what I saw and heard, but I recommend seeking God directly before making any investment decisions because translating dreams into dates can be challenging. So if it's about 35 days away, this is the crash that she is seeing, right? And as I share that there's many other people that are sharing flash crashes and at different pricing points as well. So that's why I say, folks, that putting ourselves into position now and trying to catch those Bitcoins when it does flash crash. Red Sea moment. This might be the Red Sea moment that I know other brothers and sisters in Christ have revealed to God's people. In the dream, I felt I must urgently run and tell everybody about the wave as it is about to hit so they could get out. This is my interpretation, what the Lord revealed to me. This is not what I personally want or thought would happen. In fact, I wanted and hoped, believe that BTC would go up to 71,000 prior to a drop, but this is what I heard and saw. From prior revelations of 2017, I heard 20K, 10K, 3K, 60K, 30K, and 1K BTC. So all these are timestamps, and the price of BTC are significant and will be accompanied by shifts in the market. In 2017, we had the drop from about 20K BTC leading to the bear market, which ended up with 3K BTC at the low in March 2020, with the announcement of CV19 around the world in March 2020. Afterwards, there was just a shift to the bull market until March of 2021, where 60,000K was hit, and a pullback in the crypto market began with many roller coaster rides up and down. There's going to be multiple flash crashes, and we're going to have at one point where things are going to be really, really bad with the cryptocurrency markets. Other crypto and stock market correlations. In March of last year, the Lord showed me in a dream his toes shaking the base of a mountain that destabilized and caused the mountain to crumble. The mountain represented the markets, which then collapsed. So perhaps the cryptos will fall straight down with the collapse of the broader financial markets. But it may also be other unknown events that would trigger such a drastic fall, including natural disasters and wars, which we should pray against and prepare for. All right, so one of the other things about some of these events, we talk about, I believe even Christopher Harris mentioned once about a possible hack. Maybe I think it was from Russia or China. It was one of the two. And then Prophet Robin talked about a hack on the Bitcoin blockchain, but we're still waiting for that. Looking ahead, I have also heard from the Lord 71K BTC and 111K BTC. I believe these are good sell points once the markets reverse back up. These prices might represent the catapult back up after the crash and then the next phase, which is a rocket straight up to 111,000 after a mild flattening out or dip. Okay, so that's interesting. Again, so Prophet Robin saw flash crash on two platforms around 70,000. So she's saying 71,000. Right? And then again at 111,000, which also confirms Christopher Harris's 111,000 for Bitcoin, a crash at that point. Like I said, folks, I believe that there's going to be multiple flash crashes all the way up to a point to where what Christopher Harris said after it reached 111,000, and that's when we're going to experience like really hardcore crypto winter, which I believe will be short. It won't be for, 6 months or a year or anything like that, but that's just from what I am seeing. All right, so the link will be down below in the description to this, and you can click on her name and go to her social media links as well. So one of the other things that in the dream that I forgot to mention is that she was warning people, going from house to house, warning my friends and family to get out before the wave hit. Right, so that is an indication that if you're buying and selling on different pricing points, that means that either you're selling most of your crypto or BTC. So whenever the next flash crash happens and you're able to pick up some Bitcoin, right, you have pricing points to get back out of it and then go back fishing again. So do you understand what I'm saying? But you're going to have a lot more money to work with, and you'll be able to set your Bitcoin buy limit orders for a higher price. Like you can put a whole lot more all the way between, a penny and in the thousands. Okay. And Christopher Harris made a comment, and he said, "This morning in a dream, I saw a screen with a female news anchor reporting that markets were nosediving. There was a feeling of intensity and that they were crashing severely. In a separate brief vision, I saw Christians celebrating after the flash crash had happened. God bless you, Christopher." Now that's pretty amazing. Christians were celebrating after the flash crash. Now, And so that's what I've been saying, folks, about this whole thing with Bitcoin fishing and putting yourself into position. Right? Then she responded, in my dream, I saw the tsunami as being 35 steps away, which relayed to me as days by the Lord. So that would be late March or early April is a possible date for BTC crash. Right? So this is one of the crashes I believe that she is seeing. And she looks like she replied with this link here. It says 222, beware of the scribes. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing. And she's referring to the numbers 222. She says, I was shown the scene where the scribes and Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery before the Lord, described in John 8:10. The scribes and Pharisees demanded justice since she was caught breaking the law. Justice meant in that day the woman should be sentenced to death by stoning. So the Lord, in his wisdom, asked whomever was without sin to cast the first stone. And then he bent down and began writing in the sand. I asked the Lord, what are you writing? He showed me 222. I asked the Lord, what does 222 mean? At that, the ground around us began to shake violently, and it seemed to be an earthquake, and everyone was falling and trying to keep from stumbling, except the woman who was near the Lord. I asked the Lord, is there going to be an earthquake on 222? The Lord said, this shaking is a global shaking of the financial markets. The justice demanded by those in authority and power over others, the stones in their hands, will recoil upon their heads. This is because they are hard of heart and do not seek my face. They seek to kill and destroy. They seek to abuse their power over the weak and the poor. So I find that pretty interesting because, we just came across, 2/22/2022. The world right now is being shaken. And so it looks like we're going to see some shaking within these financial markets. But that's why we're here to look at this and read this, so we are ahead of what is going on. And somebody else here posted that they had a dream that BTC had crashed to 15K. I was surprised and shocked as I've been waiting for a crash to 30,100 from a previous dream. But in my dream, I calculated the price of BTC actually dropped by 30,000 to get to the 15,000. Also, the numbers were green. I didn't know if it was going to stay at 15K for long, and I wanted to log in and buy some coins, but wasn't sure if I was going to make it in time in the dream. So here, she said that it dropped by 30,000 to get to the 15K. And remember, it was more recently at 45K. And then Maria suggests that when BTC crashes, maybe other coins will go up. So even while BTC is crashing, we could see coins like Shiba Inu still moving up to $1. She suggests that, says many investors will liquidate BTC into other smaller coins, not just out. So basically what she's suggesting, what could happen is that when BTC crashes, people will be liquidating it and then putting it into like Shiba Inu and a whole lot of other coins. Okay, and I would also like to play a prophetic word from Fireside Grace Ministries that was actually on December the 31st. All right, and this is where they are here on New Year's Eve. They're praying with people and prophesying. So I'm going to play this little bit of clip that has to do with Bitcoin.
So Matthew Goodsey, I think it's Goodsey. I don't know, maybe it's Gotsey or something, but you know who you are. When I started praying for you, I saw you walking with an umbrella, and it was just pouring rain. And I could kind of hear your thoughts under the umbrella, well, at least I'm dry under the umbrella, but it's just been storm after storm after storm. And just on the other side of the umbrella, you were just walking out of the storms, out of the rainy season, and walking into a season of growth, of sunshine, and just good things that are coming. And I felt like it was something to do with finances. And for some reason, I saw Bitcoins on the ground that you were about to pick up some cryptocurrency or something like that was going to be a blessing to you and bring finances into your life. And I don't like to prophesy about that, but that's what I saw. I don't particularly care about crypto finances at all, to be honest. But you're about to be very, very blessed in what God's doing for you. So the season of just nasty weather and storms that you've been going through is coming to an end, and blessing and prosperity is what you're walking into now because you've endured the storm or endured the storm. Now God is going to bless you.
So looking at this, he was speaking to a Matthew Goodsy or Goods, and he said that as far as getting up Bitcoins off the ground, okay, so that means, it's kind of like when you're walking down the street or you go anywhere and you see change on the ground, depending on the change, some people may pick it up, some people might not. People are going to discard Bitcoin because they think it's going to be crap. All right, so this kind of relates to Bitcoin fishing. And part of this is that a lot of people, when Bitcoin is actually like really crashing to zero, people are going to be selling. And whether it's a flash crash and people think that it's going to drop, that this is it for Bitcoin, and they discard their Bitcoins, you're going to be able to pick some of those up. So that's the whole thing dealing with these Bitcoin buy limit orders that we've been talking about. And so it's going to happen on various platforms. So that's why we need to prepare and put ourselves into position. So this Bitcoin fishing buy limit order will be down below in the description. And you can take a look at it, to look at the instructions for that on the two platforms, which you can apply to all the other platforms or any other platforms that you're on, whether you're in or out of the United States. And then here, like on CoinMarketCap, you can take a look at all the different exchanges. It just goes on and on and on. And when you think about it, there's 459 exchanges. So these flash crashes, thankfully that we have prophets that are telling us which main ones to go to. Bittrex and Kucoin, and then we also have the most recent one of Coinbase having a flash crash. So basically, what we're seeing here and the possible interpretation of this is that Bitcoin around 30,000 is going to drop to almost zero. Right, so this is just another confirmation about another crash that is coming. Right, and we have multiple prophecies from different people concerning flash crashes. And then we look for the big one where Christopher Harris was talking about it coming down from 111,000 down to zero. So many opportunities, folks. So put yourself in position. These links will be down below in the description. So it can help you guys set yourself up for Bitcoin fishing. And then I do want to keep in mind, since Kucoin is on one of those platforms, you guys have to keep in mind regulations. There's a lot of different platforms, and there's a lot of different regulations even concerning certain platforms, right? All the way from the country down to the state or province, and all the way even down to the sea, like in New York. So you guys tell me what you think about this, and are you in position? Are you ready, guys? Are you ready to catch these Bitcoins and take advantage of these pricing points, right? Could you imagine catching 10 or 20 Bitcoins before it goes up to 70,000, 71,000 before another crash, or back up to 111,000? You're going to be repeating this cycle of placing in your Bitcoin orders, right? And of course, the more money you have, the more flexibility you have in setting your buy limit orders. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out, and I hope that some of these flash crashes and crashes that you guys get a lot of Bitcoin. So we are almost there, folks. We just have to hold on. The shake in the financial system it's here, and we're waiting for this first run to occur with Shiba Inu and probably some other coins too as well. So it's not to say that even though Bitcoin might be having a hard time, doesn't mean that any of these other cryptocurrencies won't take off. So that's all I have for today, and I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.